Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 128 of Adventures and Mousecapades. This week, we're talking about how even though we were on a cruise a month ago, I'm kind of going through withdrawal already and am not super happy that our next cruise isn't until February and have surreptitiously started looking at other itineraries, fully knowing that we won't be able to go on another cruise between now and then, but...
We're going to be going to Disneyland. We're going to be down there for D23. Mm-hmm. We have, other things in the books. We're going to go to Hawaii.
I fully know. I know what our itineraries are for the next couple of years. It doesn't mean I'm not missing it right now.
Fair enough. Well, this week we are going to talk about Disney Vacation Club's The Villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, TM. But we can't really do that without talking about the Grand Flow all up. Like our episode 119, where we talked about Bay Lake Tower, this DVC location is effectively an annex of an existing hotel at Disney World. Things have gotten even more intertwined in the last year with the conversion of Building 9 at the main hotel, called Big Pine Key, over to 200 DVC resort studio rooms. So this will be a bit of a double dip, if you will, talking about the Grand Floridian from a current DVC perspective, but also hitting a bit of the history and offerings of the resort as a whole.
As a reminder, Disney Vacation Club is Disney's timeshare product that grants you accommodations at deluxe class hotels in Walt Disney World in Florida, at Disneyland in California, and off-site resorts in Hawaii, in Vero Beach, Florida, and Hilton Head, North Carolina. And if you want to know about how DVC works, you can check out our prior episodes of 98 and 14 of our podcast. We are DVC owners at both the Aulani Resort in Hawaii and at the Villas at Disneyland Hotel. So there's a bunch of other episodes we have and trip reports where we talk about staying in Disney Vacation Club accommodations there and in Florida too.
An important disclaimer here. This is not a sponsored ad for timeshare purposes. We are not affiliated with Disney. We're just big fans of DVC and know lots of folks have questions about how it all works. If you want to talk specifics about ownership, we highly recommend checking out DisneyVacationClub.com or lots of other websites that are out there, but DisneyVacationClub.com is the official source, or reaching out to DVC directly. And hey, if you're in a Disney park or resort or a cruise ship, there's bound to be a DVC information desk close by, and they can help you out.
There's also third parties where you can buy Disney Vacation Club timeshares that are not directly through Disney that are resale options available as well.
Indeed. However, your mileage may vary on those.
Exactly.
You won't necessarily have access to all of the benefits that a direct ownership will have. So do your research. Lots of information out there. This is not an ad. All right, so the Grand Floridian opened in June of 1988. This is on the monorail line, but it is not one of the original resorts there at the Magic Kingdom. It's situated near the Magic Kingdom on the western shores of Seven Seas Lagoon. It was originally called the Grand Floridian Beach Club, and then, in true Disney/Microsoft form, they rebranded it, and it was renamed in 1997.
In the initial design plan for Disney World, the spot where the Grand Floridian sits was to be an Asian-themed resort, kind of reminiscent of Thai architecture, which would have been amazing. Mm-hmm. Also around the lagoon, we're going to be a Venetian resort right between the Ticketing and Transportation Center and the Contemporary, and a Persian resort north of the Contemporary and east of Space Mountain and Tron.
Yeah, so thusly the whole seven seas concept of, around the world, you literally would have had resorts from around the world. That's not quite what it ended up to be, but whatever. It's okay. In 1992, a big 40,000 square foot convention center was added, and the Disney Wedding Pavilion was opened there on the grounds of the Grand Floridian Resort in 1995. This is the iconic Disney World resort. It is considered the flagship resort there in Florida. It is absolutely a quintessentially Florida and quintessentially Disney World kind of place.
Mm-hmm. The DVC portion, the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian, opened in October of 2013, and there has been a soft goods refurbishment in 2022 in the main villas building.
Right, and that's usually things like mattresses and bedding and couches and things like that. Stuff that's not built into the actual building itself. In 2022, the Big Pine Key building, which was part of the original hotel, was refurbished and converted from hotel over to DVC inventory. These are a brand new class of rooms that are effectively a very fancy hotel room. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. As with all of the Disney Vacation Club offerings there in Florida, this is a deluxe villa resort hotel category in the Magic Kingdom resort area. And again, that resort area includes Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness Campground and Cabins, as well as the monorail resorts of the Contemporary, Bay Lake Tower, the Polynesian, and of course, here, the Grand Floridian.
The resort layout is rather reminiscent of many of the grand hotels of the late 1800s, with large sweeping facades and Victorian-style architecture. All told, the main hotel has 867 rooms spread across 6 different buildings, plus the DVC Villas building itself. It is pretty sprawling, so do be prepared to walk.
DVC has 347 units right now at the Grand Floridian. This is comprised of the Villas building. This is what came online there in 2013. There are 147 rooms there. 47 are deluxe studios, 47 are one-bedroom villas, 47 two-bedroom villas, and 6 three-bedroom grand villas. So let's walk through what these offerings are here. The smallest offering at the Villas building sleeps 5. These are the deluxe studios. These are 374 square feet. They have a queen bed, a queen Murphy, a single pull down under the TV, and of course, a bathroom. There's also kind of a kitchenette area, so you can do some cooking and things like that if you are so inclined.
Mm-hmm. The one-bedroom villas also sleep 5. It is 844 square feet with a king bed in its own room, a queen Murphy, and a single pull-down in the living room. There's a kitchen area and a single bathroom and a washer-dryer.
The two-bedroom villas take that one bedroom and guess what it does? It adds a second bedroom as advertised. These sleep up to 9. There's 1,232 square feet, and it's basically a king bed in a master bedroom with its own ensuite bathroom, and then there's a second bedroom that itself has 2 queen beds in there, plus the queen Murphy and a single pull down in the living room. There's also a second bathroom in these 2-bedroom suites as well.
And then you have the 3-bedroom grand villas. They sleep up to 12 people in a 2,800 square foot apartment. This thing's humongous.
Yeah.
We got to do a tour of it.
Yep. It's insane.
You've got the main suite with the king bedroom, its own bathroom. Mm-hmm. You have another bedroom with 2 queens and another bedroom with 2 queens.
Right.
Another bathroom and another bathroom.
Right.
There's a full dining room. There's also kind of a TV/game room. It has its own queen sleeper sofa.
Yeah.
They added a whole other room in there.
It's insane. It's not a bedroom because there's no closet.
There's no closet. Yeah.
But still, holy cow.
Full kitchen with a huge island in it.
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go on YouTube and do a tour of this thing because it's ridiculous.
Very nice. So then we have the Big Pine Key building. This is building 9 there at the Grand Floridian. And you may be saying to yourself, but Nathan, just a few minutes ago, you said there's only 6 buildings. Yeah, there are. I don't know. They start counting at 4. The main building is number 4. And then there's several outbuildings. And this is the last one. It's building 9. I don't know. I guess they're counting like the guardhouse by the parking lot. Like, who knows? Just go with us here. There are 200 what they're calling resort studio rooms. This is a brand new class of room for DVC. It is literally a standard hotel room. They're 440 square feet, so it's a little bit bigger, though, than the deluxe studio at 374. So this is 440, still sleeps 5. There are 2 queen beds. And then you have that standard pull-down Murphy single bed that's underneath the TV there that all of these seem to have. And there is obviously a bathroom, but there is no kitchen or kitchenette in here. There is like a mini fridge, and I think they have a microwave and a couple cups or something like a coffee maker. Like, it is the first DVC offering that you could not cook a meal in your own room with. And that is interesting. If you're going to do it in a resort, this is probably the one to do it in. We'll talk about all the food options there at the Grand Flo here in a bit, but it is interesting.
There are 3 different view categories at the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa that you can book.
TM.
They are TM. Mm-hmm. They are the standard view, the lake view, and the theme park view. I mean, they're all rather descriptive. So
right.
There you go.
Right. I will say that the theme park view, you're definitely also getting a lake view because there's water between the Grand Flo and the Magic Kingdom. You will get a electrical water pageant view out of both of those rooms for sure.
Mm-hmm. When we stayed, we had a lake view, and we could not see the park at all. It's just the way that the building was turned. But we did see the lake, obviously, because Lakeview, and did get to see the electrical water pageant. So that was fun.
Indeed.
As you may recall, Disney's Vacation Club works on a point-based system where you have a certain amount of points per night for differing types of rooms, and they will change based on your travel periods. So Grand Flo ranges from 16 points a night for a resort studio up to 227 points per night for the 3-bedroom Grand Villa. Weekly ranges from 120 to 1,439.
Good grief. Our first DVC contract couldn't even get one night in a 3-bedroom Grand Villa in high season.
You are correct.
That's amazing. We'd only be 7 points shy, though. Almost there.
Yes. Yeah, almost there.
And just as a reminder, DVC contract points do expire 50 years after the resort opens. So for the Grand Floridian, well, at least for the DVC part of it, those contracts expire on January 31st of 2064. So hurry up. Only 40 years of vacations left. Just kidding. I'm sure DVC will find some way to renew and probably resell these resorts when the time comes. We'll find out how that's going to work out sometime between now and 2042 when the earliest contracts at DVC resorts start to expire.
Now, the basics. Just same at all the DVC resorts. Check-in is at 4 p.m. for the villas. Hotels are at 3 p.m. Checkout is at 11 a.m.
The lobby at Disney's Vacation Clubs, the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa TM, includes a check-in counter and kind of a concierge desk that is available there for you, which is nice. You don't have to go all the way over to the main building. Although, if you do end up, you can initially say hello to folks over in the main building. Often, if you have bus service, they'll drop you off over at the main building. Bell services will get you and all your stuff onto a golf cart and whisked around over to the DVC building to get you in the right place. So you've got bell services, valet, concierge, and all the rest of that stuff, of course, all available in the main building as well. There is a laundry room available, I believe, in just about every building there at the Grand Floridian. I couldn't find details. The Disney website literally just said it's available on the first or second floor in most buildings in the Grand Floridian with resort rooms in it. So, like, I think there's a room, but I couldn't double check. So if you're in a 1-bedroom or above villa, you're going to have a washer and dryer there for you in your suite. If you are in a studio villa or a resort studio villa, I would imagine there are laundry machines available somewhere in your building.
Mm-hmm. Transportation, if you are at the Grand Floridian. The monorail station is at the main Grand Floridian building. You have access to Magic Kingdom, the Ticketing and Transportation Center, the Polynesian, and Epcot with a transfer.
You also have access to the Disney World bus system. The stop is on the north side, the convention center side of the main building under the monorail. Note, it's about a 1/4 mile walk from the Villas building, the main Villas building. So again, this is a theme. Bring your walking shoes.
I mean, you're at Disney, you're going to have walking shoes.
Yes, exactly.
You can walk to Magic Kingdom. It's about a mile from the DVC building and just like 1,000 feet less than that from the Big Pine Key building.
And just remember, it's Florida. It's hot. So do you really want to walk? I mean, some intrepid people love it. Those people are not us. Yeah, exactly. There's also a water taxi over to the Magic Kingdom, which is pretty cool. The dock is over by Narcoossee's restaurant. And again, it's a long walk to the DVC building at the end of a long Magic Kingdom day. So it may not save you as much time and as wear and tear on your feet as you think if you are trying to skip a monorail line and get over to your resort quickly. You're going to spend as much time, unfortunately, on your feet.
You can also do rideshare or a minivan. They can pick you up right at the DVC building. And minivan, M-I-N-N-I-E, not like M-I-N-I. This is like themed, the red polka dotted minivans.
Exactly. Exactly. But of course, just because Disney does have its own rideshare thing that works on the Lyft system, other rideshare options are available, as Alicia mentioned.
Less expensive.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about the resort itself. There are 2 pools available to you. There is the beach pool. This is the primary feature pool for the Grand Floridian Resort. It is helpfully located actually between the main resort building and the DVC Villas building. So that is probably the easiest one for you to get to. It includes a 181-foot water slide. There is an Alice in Wonderland themed splash play area for the littles right next door. There's cabanas for rent. There's a very awesome pool bar as well. And then you have the courtyard pool. This is over in the middle of kind of all the other buildings there for the main hotel section. And it includes a whirlpool spa right next to it. And of course, it has its own pool bar as well.
Fancy.
Yeah.
There's a game arcade named Arcadia Games next to Gasparilla Island Grill. You also have the Grand Floridian Marina where you can rent boats. They do fireworks cruises out of there and lots of other fun stuff.
There's a jogging trail along the lake, should you be so inclined, and there's a half basketball court available. That's over by the spa. Speaking of, the Grand Floridian Spa used to be the Senses Spa, which should ring a bell to anybody who has been on a Disney ship that is the same company. The spa is helpfully located near the DVC Villas building as well. The fitness center is also in the spa building, should you be so inclined to, get a little more sweaty in Florida while you're on vacation. Swole. Of course, there's electrical water pageant views from many rooms or from there out on the lawn or by the pool. There's complimentary Wi-Fi. There's a fire pit. They do movies outside and s'mores and all sorts of fun stuff. I didn't put it down on here, but it's worth mentioning that in the Grand Floridian itself, there's several different gift shops and all sorts of shopping. There's a Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique that is there in the Grand Flo. I I don't think that's open yet, or has that reopened? I can't remember.
There's
off the
one
top of my
located
head.
there.
Yes.
Disney changes things all the time.
Exactly.
If you plan on partaking in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, recommend checking to see if they're open or not.
And helpfully, there's also a PhotoPass location up there on the second floor if you want to get some family photos made while you're there at the Grand Floridian. And they have Cinderella's slipper. So if you want to get a picture with Cindy's shoes, go right ahead and do that.
Is that open all the time?
It's open whenever there is a PhotoPass cast member standing there. I'm sure there's hours. I don't know what they are.
Dining for the Grand Floridian. This is where this place really shines. There are a lot of dining options here, ranging from poolside snacks to a Michelin star award-winning fine dining restaurant.
Indeed. And that is newly minted as well within the last few weeks as we are recording this. Of course, we are talking about Victoria and Albert's. The quote from the Disney website says, "Savor an Epicurean odyssey."
No, don't do that.
Savor an Epicurean odyssey in a serene setting inspired by a Victorian garden. Let's face it, people. This is an expensive meal.
Yes.
There are 3 rooms from which to choose from. There's the main room that you can eat in. The prefix menu starts from $295 per person. And then should you include wine pairings on top of that, that starts from $155 per person.
Yep.
This is expensive. Should you choose to spend more on your amazing meal at Victoria and Albert's, you may be able to get a reservation in Queen Victoria's room. This has personalized table service in a separate ultra elegant room. I think there's 6 two-tops in there, and they're very much spread out around this big room. It's kind of your own very unique and separated, exclusive dining experience.
But wait, there's more.
Speaking of unique and separate, you can sit in the kitchen. That's right. There is a chef's table available at V&A's that literally is inside the kitchen, and you can talk to the chef and they can do whatever that is. I think it seats 8 people or something like that, 8 or 10. I forget the details. You can look it up online, but this ain't cheap, y'all. But for the foodie in your life, this may be the absolute thing that you do want to do. Obviously, they're only going to do 1 seating at the chef's table a night, so reservations are not just required, they are probably really tough to get.
We have not done this restaurant yet, and I really want to do this restaurant.
Yes.
I'd love to be able to do the chef's table, but I know things have changed with how that's available to reserve, and I don't know if it's something we can ever do, but I do want to get into either the main room or Queen Victoria room at some point. Chef's table is like my pie in the sky thing I'd love to try.
This is absolutely kind of the Remy or Enchanté equivalent on a Disney Cruise Line ship. And honestly, it's roughly the same cost.
Well, and the chef
that's
at
true.
Victoria and
That's fair.
Albert's is the chef or one of the chefs who did the menu
Yes.
at Remy, one of the menus at Remy.
And it's actually a very similar thing. There are 2 menus with which to choose from. So if you've been to Remy or know about Remy or Enchanté, this is a very similar setup at V&A. So bucket list faux show.
There is also a restaurant called Citrico's. It is a signature dining restaurant. It is a great sit-down dinner restaurant facing the water and has Mary Poppins flair to it. It's been recently renovated. We've gone and it is gorgeous.
Yes.
Some of the tables even have a great fireworks view outside the windows.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to stumble into that on our last trip down there. It was quite fantastic. There's also Narcoossee's. This restaurant has been closed. It recently reopened, actually, since we've been there. It was still closed when we were there in December. This is yet another signature dining restaurant there at the Grand Flow, and it is right on the water. It features coastal cuisine and seafood and steaks and all sorts of amazing stuff. This has got to be on our list the next time we're in town as well. I really want to go to Narcoossee's. Now, if you're not familiar, signature dining is Disney's code word for there's a dress code. So please avail yourself of their website to see what the attire is that you're expected to be wearing when you're at a signature dining restaurant. And for sure, Victoria and Albert's, I would say, is your finest. You may not need to go rent a tux, but I don't think you'd be out of place if you did.
On to some of Grand Floridian's more casual offerings. We have the Grand Floridian Cafe. It is a casual table service.
Indeed. They casually serve you at your table.
Yes.
We have 1900 Park Fare. This is a character breakfast and dinner that literally just reopened in the last few weeks. The characters that are there have changed since the before times. It used to have Mary Poppins was there, and I think Alice from Alice in Wonderland and lots of other friends. It's now Aladdin, Cinderella, Mirabelle from Encanto, and Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog.
I think this is one of the places where you could see Lady Tremaine and the two stepsisters from Cinderella.
Randomly, they'd show up. Yep.
Yeah. I still have never met any of them.
Wah, wah.
Gasparilla Island Grill is a quick service dining restaurant open from 6 a.m. to midnight.
There's, of course, private dining, which is Disney code word for room service.
Bar that we've been to a couple of times is the Enchanted Rose Bar. It is a Beauty and the Beast themed bar, and it has fantastic drinks.
It's amazing there. Absolutely. There's also the before mentioned Beaches Pool Bar and Grill, offers lunch and bar service, and the Courtyard Pool Bar, which has cocktails, and then some salads and some wraps and things like that.
There's also the Garden View Tea Room. That is, however, one of the places that has not yet reopened.
All right, so let's cut to the chase. What do we think of the Grand Floridian? We've stayed at the Grand Flow once back in August of 2022. If you want to hear about that, that's episodes 38 and 39 of this here podcast. And we were in the Villas building. We had a 2-bedroom Lakeview villa that was really, really nice.
Yeah.
We have visited a bunch, though. We've been there for character breakfast or just to go to the bar or, just to see the Easter eggs in the lobby or to see a gingerbread house in the lobby. This is by far not the only time we ever have been in the Grand Floridian. And I really, really like the Grand Flow.
I do too. It's a it's a Victorian style.
Yeah.
So this one and Riviera, I actually think are two of my favorites because they are a little more on the, I don't know, I guess bougie side.
Bougie. I was going to say.
But you've got like the modern bougie and then the old style bougie. So it just depends on where you want to go. I guess I like bougie. Jeez.
Yeah, I'd say I would describe the decor as kind of, it's incredibly comfortable, but it's elegant at the same time.
Yes.
I think there's absolutely fantastic. There's iconic views of the Magic Kingdom from the Grand Floridian. I mean, you get fireworks views or the water pageant if you've got the right room. Obviously, you have the wedding pavilion right there. So this is like the view of Main Street and the train station and the castle and everything. Like this is the quintessential, like outside of the park looking in view is from the Grand Flow.
And if you're lucky, if you're on the monorail, occasionally, sometimes, you'll see Cinderella's carriage out there getting ready for a wedding.
Yep. I think the food options are absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Really enjoyed kind of everything from quick service at Gasparilla to Citrico's was fantastic. I can't wait to try Narcoossee's. I can't wait someday for V&A's to happen for us. There's some bucket list food options there
Yes.
that are Well, I guess we'll say on our bucket list, if you will. Yeah.
Something you kind of skimmed over a little bit is during the holidays, Grand Floridian is amazing.
Yeah.
You've got around Easter time, there are chocolate eggs that are themed, basically. And they're not small. They're big, amazing works of art that cast members put together. They do this every Easter, and they're out for a couple of weeks at the very least. There are a couple that I think they rotate year round. I believe one of them is in the Grand Floridian Cafe. There's a chocolate egg in there.
That's right. That's right.
That you can see. And at Christmas time, you've got the gingerbread house. You cannot beat Grand Flo's gingerbread house.
No.
It's 2-story Victorian style. There's a shop in the middle of it, so you can buy stuff. You can buy gingerbread. You can buy a whole bunch of other little tchotchkes and food munchies and everything, and it smells divine.
Amazing. Yeah.
And the humongous Christmas tree in there, too.
You're right on the monorail when you're at the Grand Flo. Like, it's super easy to get around there. But kind of like we've been talking about, there's a ton of walking, especially when you're at the end of a long day in the Florida heat and you go, hey, let's take the water taxi over so we don't have to stand in line and wait for said monorail. Man, I think I almost would have rather have stayed waiting in line than do all that extra walking.
Oh my gosh, we are such whiners.
Yeah, we are. We are.
But it's at the end of a long park day, and we're just like, I just want to lie down.
Yeah, yeah. The good news is Bell Services can throw you in a golf cart and get you around if you need to. And the DVC Villas does have a parking lot there right close to the building. So if you're renting a car, it's actually really easy to get to it. And frankly, since we have friends in the area, we often have a car anyway, and it's just easier and faster for us to take our own transportation between the parks.
I will say, though, if we're going to Magic Kingdom from Grand Flo, we're not going to use our own transportation.
No, that's going backwards. The Grand Flo has been recently refurbished, as we mentioned, and there's lots of new DVC inventory with those resort studio rooms. That looks really interesting. I think if we were going to be there for, a short amount of time and just needed a room for a few nights, I could see us doing it, for content, of course.
Yeah, sure. The points are the same if you do a resort studio versus a deluxe studio.
Yeah, yeah. It just comes down to, do you want like a sitting area? Do you want or just kind of a hotel room with 2 beds in it? Another downside is, you do have shared bus transportation to Disney's Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom or Springs or wherever else you may be going. All of the monorail resorts share a single bus loop. So that can be a little tough at times to get a seat, or the buses can get delayed in all the traffic that's around that area of the Magic Kingdom for sure. And the bus stop is a long walk from the DVC building. All right, Alicia, you mentioned it a little bit a few minutes ago. Riviera versus Grand Floridian. What's your preference? Like, when would you stay at either? Because I'm with you. It's a toss-up for me between these 2 resorts.
I think we'd need to stay at Grand Flo again for me to get a real good decision on this.
Yeah.
We've stayed at Riviera a couple of times, and it is great if we're wanting to hit Epcot or Hollywood Studios easily.
Yep. Yeah, we really haven't done like, hey, let's go over to Epcot from Grand Flo. What does that look like, having to get the monorail around, transfer over, and all the rest of that stuff? It's not undoable. It's just a thing.
I think the amenities may be better at Grand Floridian, though. I think what's there food-wise and just at the resort itself is better.
Agreed. You have way more food options for sure. I think the vibe at the Grand Flo is a little bit more all-encompassing as well. The Riviera is one of those DVC kind of typical resorts. The lobby is very underwhelming. It's there to be a hub, to be your home for your stay in Disney World. It is set up where you've got a kitchen, you can do whatever you want. You have easy access to things, but it's not making that grand statement in a lobby like you have at the Grand Floridian or other places like the Contemporary or Animal Kingdom or some of these other resorts that just have grand lobbies. A DVC only resort, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, that was my point there that I was going to bring up is Riviera is a DVC resort hotel.
Right.
It is not a hotel with the DVC resort.
Right.
And Grand Floridian is a hotel with a DVC resort in it as well.
Right. Now, remember, we're throwing around DVC and hotel a little loosely here. You can give a lot of money to Disney and do a DVC villa in cash, like as a kind of a hotel guest kind of thing.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can rent points from somebody for a much better deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Just look up online DVC rental.
Yeah.
There's several places that can help facilitate and make that happen, and you will save a lot of money against Disney's cash rates. Yeah. I think that being at a DVC resort, though, is pretty amazing. You get the extra magic hours. These are deluxe resorts. You get some of those perks. Now, it's expensive. Like
it is.
Whether you're buying in on a contract or you're doing rental points, these resorts are expensive, but they're the most comfortable and well-appointed resorts that are on property. Save the Waldorf Astoria or some of those other things that those truly are 5-star resorts, 5-star hotels. I would say for Disney, I would say the Grand Flo is it's 5-star, but I think if you were going to put it up against some of those other, the Four Seasons or the Waldorf or something like that, it's a 4.5. Like it's not. If you want to have that really premium experience, you could go get it, but you're not going to be as close to Magic Kingdom.
You're not going to be as close. I do think they are less expensive than a Disney hotel, though, at Waldorf and Four Seasons.
I don't disagree with that either.
Yeah.
We'll have to try that, sometime for content. Maybe.
For content. Okay. What about you, Nathan? What are your thoughts, Riviera versus Grand Flo?
I think it really comes down to what we want to do on the trip. If we're there to be hanging out with our friends and maybe hit Epcot and maybe hit studios and things like that, frankly, I would stay at Riviera because it's closer to get to I-4 to get down to Davenport and see Bill and Rachel and everybody else. And I think it is a big bonus to be on the Skyliner line from Epcot, where we don't have to worry about getting a rental car or something like that, or a bus back from drinking around the world at Epcot, or enjoying drinks or an after hour thing or something like that over at Animal Kingdom. I would say Riviera is probably the place that I would go more often. But I still really like the Grand Floridian. Yeah. And I could definitely see us staying there again for sure.
I would like to, for sure. I do think parking at Grand Floridian is a little easier than at Riviera, though.
Agreed. From a DVC perspective, absolutely. Yeah. The parking lot's just a lot closer. Yep. Yeah, either way you go, you're going to have a great vacation.
Yes.
And with that, just a reminder, we are not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. This is not a timeshare ad. These are our personal opinions and suggestions and some facts I found online. Based on our own experiences, we recommend working with a travel agent or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have any questions or suggestions, or if you'd like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send us an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
Go ahead and give us a follow on all the socials. We're at Our Mousecapades. And then, of course, please make sure you're giving us a rating and a review in your podcast app. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. The more ratings, the more reviews, that really helps people find us. And of course, please don't hesitate to share us with your friends and fellow Disney lovers of all ages.
Thank you for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.